All right, so here we are. Welcome, Jimmy from Gameday Sports Card here in Las Vegas, Nevada, right?
This is it. This is our home.
This
home
is your
base.
home,
This is
yeah.
it.
This was probably really easy for you to travel to.
Yeah, except for we had a big trade night last night. I was a little hungover, so
Okay, yeah.
it definitely was a little struggle getting here today,
Sure.
but we got here. It
Yeah,
was
that
quick.
makes sense. Yeah. Trade night was great. So
Yeah, thank you guys.
yeah, we had a lot of fun. So DCI, Drip, Collectible, Game Day. I know there were a couple other people involved in that.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys came in and you guys set up and took over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you guys did a great job, and we appreciate partnering with you guys and doing the trade night. So
100%, 100%. Cool. So, what I'd love to hear, I'd just love to start. What do you think of Mint Collective so far about this show in general?
Well, this is the first show that I've ever been to that they bring food around to you.
I'm
walking around, I'm like, whoa, what is this? They're
I mean,
bringing us
it's plated servers. They
Right?
got,
the full white, what is it? The white glove treatment going on here. So yeah, it's definitely a good show so far. It's mostly vendors and stuff tonight, and,
Sure.
and like the VIPs. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But from the looks of it right now, it's going to be pretty crazy.
It's gonna, yeah. It's such a nice set. This is one of the cleanest shows I've ever been to across the country.
No, absolutely. When you walk in, it feels like a top-notch show.
100%.
You feel like almost like it's like a national or one of those type shows where they didn't spare any expense. They went all out.
For sure, yeah. So IMG, obviously eBay's the major sponsor for
Right.
this, so super cool. Collectible, they just did such a great job across the board. So, what are you most looking forward to this weekend? It's Friday night. We have this, really cool event going on. But over the course of the weekend, what's the thing you're really looking forward to?
Most thing I'm looking for is meeting our members, our guests, our guys that we rip on Whatnot, we rip on Facebook, we do a lot of case breaks. Meeting the guys that are traveling in from all over the country, coming in to meet us.
Sure. Yeah.
Probably the main
Obviously,
thing.
there was an interesting case break that went on here. I think it was in the MGM also yesterday. So
It was. I think it took over the card world for
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah,
Everybody
for
was
sure.
watching. It is what it is, and if you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't,
yeah, we're not gonna argue back and forth about
no,
that one,
of
but
course, right.
it was definitely a big break that happened there. So, I'd love to just hear about Game Day in general. How did it start? Like, what's the origin story for you guys?
Okay, so going back to 2016, a lot of people don't realize, the hobby was around back in 2016. Everybody seems to go into the 90s and then stop and then start back after COVID.
Sure.
It happened in the big boom of everything. But yeah, 2016, I got into breaking. I found a couple breakers on eBay, and I was watching them, and I was like, oh, I like this. I think I could do breaks like this. So I started doing breaks out of my, out of a den out of my house. One thing led to another. I was an executive on the Strip for 20 years.
Okay.
Once COVID happened, they laid everybody off and said, go home for 3 months and don't plan on coming back. I took that as an opportunity. So I opened up my own shop directly across the street from the Raiders practice facility. And it's been nothing but good things now.
Very cool. And that is in Henderson, right?
Henderson, yep.
Okay, very cool. So we'll give you some shout outs here at the end
Absolutely.
too. So, what are you hoping that Game Day can do or make an impression on over the course of this weekend on all the people that are going to come into the event? What are you trying to make an impression of?
One thing is they'll know that I come from the hospitality industry, and all the guys that work for me or work with me, I should say, they're all hospitality guys. We want to make you feel at home. We want you to come in and feel like, even when you come into our shop, we want you to come in, you're going to be greeted, you're going to be talked to, they're going to introduce themselves to you. Most card shops don't go that far.
Sure.
Most card shops have one guy sitting behind a register. He barely will lift up his head to greet somebody as they come in. We take a total different aspect. Same thing with the card show. Anybody that comes to our booth, we introduce ourselves. What can I assist you with? What are you looking for? We take the whole hospitality industry about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that is a great approach to how you do it, and it probably comes from your background, being in the executive industry, right? So
100%, because that's I was teaching people myself for 20 years on how to do it.
Sure.
And so now I just do it for my own business.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's been the biggest section of your business? Is it the walk-in customers? Is it the online breaking? What's the biggest part of your business right now?
So when we first started, I would probably say about 75, 25
Okay.
with online.
Okay.
It's changed a little bit now that people are starting to see where we're at, know where we are, and more people are coming to the hobby. But we still do about 60-40, 60% online and 40%
Gotcha.
walk-in.
Gotcha. Very cool. What would be your opinion of sports card grading? Obviously, grading became such a massive push and boom. What is your opinion of that section of the industry?
So, and a lot of guys, and I'm sure, when my guys from the shop listen to me talk about this, they'll know, because one of my biggest rants is I don't understand how you can grade a card and then they do nothing different to the card, but then they can charge you more money for it. It's like, how can you have a service that you actually, like, if somebody came to your house to tile your floor and you said, hey, it's going to be this price, get done with that service, and all of a sudden they're going to say, no, I'm going to charge you, because it looks very nice, I'm going to charge you 10 times more the price. That's the biggest scam in the whole hobby.
Sure.
I can't believe people still do it.
Right.
But it's one of those things where it's like, all right, it is what it is, and people are going to pay that because they think it brings value. Me, I'm totally different. I want the card to look nice and be encased and taken care of properly.
Gotcha. So you do grade. You're not a person that just keeps your stuff raw, like you do actually grade.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. No, that's awesome. What would you say that the grading companies themselves are actually doing well right now?
They're doing well. That's a good question. I think they're doing well on keeping it relevant in prices.
Okay.
And it makes it nice to know, like, hey, a BGS 9.5 is worth this, a PSA 9 is worth this, and so on and so forth. I think that's, at least we know the value of a card, and
Sure.
we can gauge like comps on cards because of the actual grades on it. So, any grading company, we could kind of value that card in a slot. And that helps for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially in your business, right? You're getting people
Buying
who are
and
walking
selling all
in,
day.
right? Buying and selling. Yeah, that makes total sense. What do you think is the thing that the grading companies are struggling with the most to, into the market?
Timing. Like, I can't tell you how much money I've lost in the last 2 years just on timing, on waiting for cards to get back or waiting for your orders to even be graded. So waiting for that, during that timing, guys fall off, guys go up. Yes, most of the time cards fall.
Sure.
You don't make as much money in the waiting process. I think it's really bad.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. So you're deep in the market. You've got a lot of stuff going on. The next 2 to 5 years for this hobby, what do you think it looks like?
I think we're just at the brink of everything. I think in the next 5 years, we're going to have people don't understand. People looked at the Fanatics thing as something that was bad by them taking over and getting involved with all these other, with NBA and MLB and NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it as a blessing. Now we get these guys to go out there. They're going to promote it. Now that you're going to pay their own athletes to get out there and promote this stuff.
Sure.
We're not going to have to beg people to come to card shows. Guess what? They're going to be here.
Right.
They're going to be putting it on their social medias. You can already see that the athletes and also celebrities are starting to come to the hobby. It's only going to continue to grow.
Yeah, very cool. No, there's definitely a lot of stuff coming, and I hope that it does progress that way because, as you said, there's so much more money in it for now, again, the NBA Players Association and the NBA itself, right, as an example. So hopefully that will continue the market upward.
Absolutely, yeah. That's how I feel anyways.
Yeah, that's amazing. So give us social media. Like, where do we find you? Where do we find Gameday?
Absolutely. If you're on Instagram, it's Gameday Sports Cards LV.
Okay.
On Instagram. We also have a Whatnot channel, Gameday Las Vegas, and we have a second channel, Gameday LV. On Whatnot, we break on Facebook at Gameday Sports Cards, and we also have the shop here in Las Vegas, Gameday Sports Cards.
Well, that makes it pretty easy.
Easy enough. Look for Gameday Sports Cards.
What is the biggest hit that you guys have done in any break so far? What's the monster in your mind?
So just recently we did some National Treasures basketball and hit a true RPA LaMelo ball. That's a massive hit.
Yeah, for sure.
Going back to Bowman Chrome, we've hit some huge hits with we had a out of 5 Lawler that was hit in Bowman Chrome. That's a $25,000-$30,000 card. So when you're ripping a lot of product,
sure,
you get a lot of big hits.
Yeah,
so it definitely
100%.
helps. But yeah, it's one of those things where we had some in the past with Patrick Mahomes cracked ice number to 23 that I ended up buying for $1,100 and then sold it for $2,000.
I bet
and
you
then
would.
that card now is worth $100,000 and something.
Yes, for sure,
So,
for
yeah,
sure.
one of
Wow,
those.
got it. Well, cool. So thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Gameday Sports Card. Go check them out. They're here in Las Vegas. Check them out online. I heard on Whatnot you guys are going huge, right?
We are, yep.
On Whatnot. So thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.